Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss an important topic, that is inquest. So it is one of the most important topic in forensic. So you may get this question as a 5 marks question, or you may get it as a essay. So yeah, firstly, definition. Inquest means an inquiry into the cause of suspicious death, sudden death, or unnatural death. So inquest means it is a inquiry which is done in case of a suspicious death or in case of a unnatural death. So inquest means it's just a inquiry. We just do this inquiry to identify the cause of death, to identify the manner of death, or to identify the body. So inquest means just a inquiry to in case of a unnatural deaths. That's it. So types. So in inquest we have police inquest, magistrate inquest, coroner's inquest, and medical examiner inquest. So we have police inquest, magistrate inquest, coroner's inquest, and medical examiner inquest. So in our country, this police inquest and magistrate inquest are followed, and this coroner's inquest and medical examiner's inquest are not practiced in India. Now we will read about police inquest. So police inquest comes under CRPC 174. So, what is meant by police inquest? So, this inquest or this inquiry is conducted by the police officer. So, it is conducted by a police officer in charge of the police station. Firstly, what happens is first, officer receives information about unnatural death, like unnatural death means murder or accident. Then the police officer, the police officer, whenever like he get to know about this unnatural death, then he will inform the magistrate. Police officer informs the magistrate about the crime, about this unnatural death. Then after informing this magistrate, police officer visits the scene of the crime and conducts inquest. So after informing the magistrate, he just go to the scene and will start doing the inquiry. So it is also known as Panchnama. So, police officer visits the scene of the crime and conducts inquest or prepares a Panchnama. See, then if there is no foul play, body is handled to the relatives. If at all there isn't any mm, if the cause of death is known and if there is nothing hidden. So, if there is no if the cause of death, the manner of death, and is like known, so there isn't any hidden story behind the death. So then the body is handed over to the relatives. If there is some other reason behind the death, there is some like mystery behind the death, then the body is not handed over to the relatives, but it is sent for the autopsy, like to identify the correct way, like to identify the cause of death, to identify any hidden stories behind the death, to identify the if there is any crime, to identify the criminal, so to identify the manner of death, we'll send the body. If foul play suspected, body is handed to the doctor for autopsy. So this is what happens in police inquest. See, uh, so, on receiving information about the suspicious or unnatural death, police officer informs the magistrate and visits the scene of death and conducts panchnamas. Panchnama means inquest in the presence of two panchas. Panchas means respectable persons of the locality. So, after the police visiting that crime scene, then he conducts the panchnama. And while he was doing this panchnama, there should be presence of two panchas. Panchas means respectable persons of that locality. So an inquest report is prepared which is signed by the police officer and panchas. So it mentions about the apparent cause of death, injuries if present, and circumstance leading to death. So police prepares a panchnama. So in that the police signs it, and also the two panchas will sign that, and in that pancha, they write about the cause of death, injuries if present, and circumstance leading to death. So this is what is present in that Panchanama. So see, this is a flow chart. Police officer receives information about the suspicious death. Police officer informs the magistrate and visits the scene of crime or crime scene. Police officer conducts Panchanama and prepares report. If foul play, if there is any mystery is suspected, then it requests doctor to perform an autopsy. If there is no foul play, then then the body is handed to the relatives. So this is what it is. A police inquest comes under CRPC 174. Yeah. Now, so inquest report, like inquest report, what the inquest report consists of? The inquest report consists of the name, age, sex, address, occupation, and marital status of the deceased, date, time, place where the inquest is conducted. Next, body identified by spot where the corpse was found, like at home, the body is found at home or in the well or the roadside. State of the corpse, whether it is fresh or it is decomposed or decomposed, etc. Next, posture of the body. Next, injuries if present, and like where the injuries are present, whether grievous or not grievous. Then apparent cause of the injury. So all these are like mentioned in the inquest report. Yeah. Next, we completed with the police inquest. Now we will read about the magistrate inquest. So in magistrate inquest, yeah, it is an inquest conducted by a district magistrate. We have to remember these names. See, it is conducted by a district magistrate or subdivision magistrate or magistrate of the first class rank or executive magistrate such as collector, deputy collector, or tahsildar. So, in magistrate inquest, who will conduct this inquest is district magistrate, subdivision magistrate, magistrate of first class rank, or executive magistrate such as collector, deputy collector, or tahsildar. So, this comes under section 176 CRPC deals with the magistrate inquest. 174 CRPC deals with the police inquest. You have to remember this is 176 CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code. So it is practiced throughout India. I already told you that police inquest and magistrate inquest are followed in India, and it is not held routinely, but only a special circumstances mentioned below. Normally, we follow police inquest is more common, but this is not more common. There are certain circumstances where this magistrate inquest is followed or held. Magistrate inquest is done instead or in addition to police inquest. In all cases where the police normally conduct inquest, magistrate can hold on additional inquest or in place of police inquest. So magistrate inquest is held in the following cases. These are very important. You have to remember this. So in these cases only where magistrate inquest is like held, not the police inquest. In case of lockup deaths, deaths in police custody, deaths during police interrogation, death in prison, death due to police firing, death in psychiatric hospitals, dowry death, rape committed on a woman in custody of a police. So these are the like scenarios where the magistrate inquest is done. First, what are that? Lockup death, death in police custody, death during police interrogation, deaths in prison, deaths due to police firing, deaths in a psychiatric hospital, dowry deaths, rape committed on a woman in the custody of a police. So yeah, this is what it. Next we'll read. Yeah. So one more reason is like in exhumation cases. Exhumation means like it is a case where bodies are taken out, buried body is also taken out. Is known as exhumation. So the body which is already buried, which is removed for the like investigation, that is known as exhumation. So when such type of inquiry is to be held, the magistrate should inform the relatives, parents, children, brothers, sisters, and spouse of a deceased and allow them to remain present at the inquiry. Yeah. Next, what is the purpose of doing this magistrate inquest? To maintain intentional behind the magistrate inquest is to ensure that no person is unjustly deprived of his or liberty or rights as a citizen of nation. So like every person has a liberty, and no every person has a liberty and rights to get justice. So no person who is deprived of his liberty can die as a result of neglect or brutality of a person who's aren't in charge of him. In case of a buried body, there is no doubt with regarding to identity, cause of death or manner of death. So the death is not a dowry death. So in this case, like the reason why we do the magistrate inquest. Next, coroner's inquest. Coroner is a graduate in law with at least 5 years of legal practice. So, who is coroner? He is a graduate in law with at least 5 years of legal practice, and he is appointed by government. The coroner conducts the inquest with the help of a jury. Jury means a group of respectable persons of the society. Coroners conducts inquest on any suspicious unnatural death or death in prisons or death in custody or death in psychiatric hospital, like same as of magistrate inquest, like if you were added in that, but yeah. If necessary, can order for autopsy or exhumation. Exhumation it means, I told you that it is a removing of the buried body. Coroner's court is a court of inquiry. He or she can witness to give evidence. It cannot conduct trial and cannot award punishment. So this is important. In coroner's inquest, it cannot conduct trial or cannot award punishment. Coroner's inquest are practiced in Bombay and Calcutta. Currently, it is not practiced in India. So this is not practiced in India. It is practiced in England, Australia, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, and USA. So yeah, the main points you have to remember it is that the coroner is a graduate in law with at least 5 years of legal practice. He is appointed by the government. Next, he conducts inquest with the help of a jury. Then the coroner conducts inquest by suspicious or unnatural death or death in prisons, death in custody or death in psychiatric hospital. And this like what this it cannot conduct trial or cannot award punishment, like it is not practiced in India. And these are the countries like where it is practiced, like England, Australia, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, and USA. Next, medical examiner inquest or medical examiner system. So it is practiced in USA. Forensic pathologist, who is the one who is going to conduct this inquest, is a forensic pathologist is appointed as a medical examiner by the government. Medical examiner visits the scene of crime and conducts inquiry in the cause of death. He or she examines a dead body and collects the evidence. Same as same as that of the police inquest. Whenever he come to know about the death, unnatural death, he just visits the crime scene and he just collects all the evidences. Then he does not have any judicial power. It is supreme to other types of inquest because doctor will have a first hand knowledge of the scene of crime, dead body, its state, its posture, because he is dealing with the medicine. So this is like this superior than that of other inquest. He or she can collect trace evidences such as hair, blood stains, seminal stains. So whenever he visits a crime scene, he can collect all these evidences, like to identify the criminal, to identify the reason behind it, to identify the manner of death. So he collects all these specimens, and he and she can correlate it with autopsy findings. So yeah, he'll just do or collect all these findings, and then he's the one who is going to do the autopsy. Then he will correlate these two, and then he'll come to a conclusion, like what happened and like who killed him, like how he like whether it is a homicide, whether it is a suicide, or what happened, etc. So yeah, thank you guys for bearing with me. Thank you.